So the Europeans went to the Moroccan government and asked for permission to come over here to northwest Amexa to develop this land. They were given a 50-year mandate to do so. Then the Europeans went to an old sheikh and asked him to give them some people to help them to develop this land. The sheikh told them, take those Moors because they're not going to do anything. Right? So it was Moors who weren't doing anything that ended up being put in slavery. So whether it was by our own or whether it was because of the European. It was Moors who were just chilling on the block. Smoking all day, drinking all day. Not amounting to nothing.
Criminals.
They don't want to study, they don't want to learn, they don't want to...
So she was probably irritated with that type of behavior.
And what are you going to do? I'm not going to kill them.
Yeah,
so
they're probably criminals, because
like,
it's the same thing in Europe. They send and take the criminals and
the Australians.
Yeah.
Well,
Australia for one.
In older slavery, that's because there was no jails. That's the major function of slavery. That was jail.
There's a POW.
You serve your time. You have to work off your debt.
So it wasn't like yeah, we're gonna put you in slavery and tie them up and whatever.
So the stuff on the boats is just unrealistic.
Well, my thing is, show me a slave ship, and I'll believe that slavery existed.
Unrealistic. For real.
But if hundreds of slave ships came over,
barges and they were sent to
600
other
million,
countries.
like, there's gotta be a slave ship somewhere.
You chain up man with chain and have them send
Yo, they could come in this room and chain up man.
They could chain you. The question is, okay, all that happened, but show us the slave ship.
Right.
There's tons of them.
Just simple as that.
Yeah.
And plus, you're a prisoner anyway. I mean, you're a criminal anyway, so in your own land, you already were disbarred from society, I mean, in a sense. So, it's like...
yeah, there's a ship, like when you're driving to New York, going to St. Catharines, there's a ship that sits right at the, I don't know if it's a beach or whatever, I don't see. Like when you drive, it's like a shipwreck.
Yeah.
Where? You see it?
Yeah.
Driving to Hamilton, to St. Catharines. There's a ship just sitting there.
On the Skyway? Is it under the Skyway?
Right close to Niagara. Maybe that's one of the ships.
Yeah, way after.
Way after St. Catharines.
Yeah, maybe that's one of the ships. Who knows? It's been sitting there for a long time now.
No,
that's a replica.
I don't know about that.
That's a still replica.
Because they have never even, they have never produced a shipping building company in Europe ever. Like there's no such thing. Even in their own records, they don't even say that they are shipbuilders. They can show like they can build ships. Or
everything else that they claim that happened at that period of time, they could show us.
Right.
Or they could show us like pieces or fragments of it. Give us the shit. They're boasters. They're arrogant braggers. So they would brag about their conquest.
But the thing is, if we believe it, then what does that say about us?
Well, no, like they, because I don't believe it.
Well, hey, okay.
Well, they had everybody believing about a devil, didn't they?
Alright, let me rephrase that. If some of us believe it, then you know, without asking those questions.
Well, it's the same thing you say to them. You say, well, how long did it take you to realize there was no Santa Claus?
Thank you. That's the reconstruction of history.
Or a devil.
Or a devil.
And not to take give them too much credit, and not to take anything away from them, because we did teach them. But they're trying to be businessmen. So that's not lucrative to be taking all those people across the Atlantic like that and then keeping them in those conditions. You're gonna lose most of your profit or whatever you're trying to gain.
Doing away the sick.
You're gonna lose. Yeah, like everybody's dying on that ship before you get over here.
That's it, because most.
So maybe they tried, but then they realized, you know what? Let's just take the Moors who are already here.
Can I build on that? You're absolutely right, but what they tried to do was when they took them from South Asia, what they call Africa, when they brought those Moors over here, they were so psychologically damaged because they had no connection whatsoever to any part of their land whatsoever, and they were totally lost. So they kind of went like
it was part of the strategy.
Insane.
It was part of the
so
strategy.
They can't mess with an insane person.
You know what I mean? Part of a strategy, you know, take 3 people from one area, 3 people from another area, you know, 3 people from another area, mix them all up with different lingo, different talk, nobody know nothing, and then if they try to read and write, mash them up.
That's military. That's military. They did in Iraq, but they do in Afghanistan. But they did every country that.
And in any direction too, from.
You know, but what really get me, maybe me, right? But what even from a youth, right? Must speak what must speak now, but just didn't know. Would it maybe inspired or something in me must say, yo, them people that you see in the 10 Commandments, even though it didn't happen like that, them are our people. Them people down there in Jerusalem right now, they claim they ain't them people, them too pale. You know what I mean? Every time I see a movie, I see 300 AD, I see all white people fighting our war. I'm saying, yo, I know that war. My ancestors fought it. You too? I didn't see you there. You know what I'm saying, though? You know, a trickery thing happened. And to wake up a mass people, like them scared of, like them even preach about it in them own stupid book, what their greatest fear of when the eye open. Because when the eye open, you see, right? And the best thing after meeting you guys and getting on the knowledge and wisdom, I say the best place to get them is in a courtroom. Let them provide all this evidence that proves. Let them show the paperwork that show that my name is George Monroe and I was born. Let me see these documents that prove to me that all these years that you kept me in captivity, where's my loot? I'm an absentee landlord, but I'm back now. So give me back what you took and all my people back. You know,
but see, the other thing too, right? This is what we were talking about earlier. That we don't have to get back something that they took.
It's already ours.
It's already ours. All we have to do is claim it.
Reclaim it. Or claim it.
Or reclaim it. Right?
Well, we're going to do that.
Yeah, because you know, and that comes back to the slavery thing too. Right? We're the ones that put European slavery first. He got mad, and then he went nuts with it. Putting people on a tree, burning dudes, taking pictures, hanging people, and all that type of stuff.
Head off and on the stage.
You know, they have to eye for an eye, tooth for tooth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Karma's a bitch and all that type of stuff. Like,
and I want the whole 9 yards.
Can I say something real quick? But what we got to remember too is they weren't really hiding stuff from us. Now, like, you know, they put it out there in your face like these movies you were saying. But if somebody doesn't really want to pay attention to what they're seeing and hearing, they tell you all the time. They tell you in movies, they tell you in cartoons, they tell you all the time who you are.
Yo, listen, I'm going to tell you, we got many ways to reach the people, whether they're awake or not. You know, if we put our head together and we plan, plot, and strategize properly, no violent thing, just everybody behaving a diplomat and diplomatic behavior, like that's what we are. We are the creators of everything that they stole and switched. And now we got my brothers down there behaving like them, killing and shooting each other over a corner that's already theirs.
And that was the whole thing about Noble Drew Ali coming to get us to stop being niggers. You know what I mean? The fez is up. Back then they say, you know, you throw on a suit with a tie, and you change up the whole frequency of how they look at you. Like, so as soon as they look at you, they know, hey, that's not a nigger, and they're going about their business. They're going to look for the tear pants guy.
And who was the true
tight pants guy?
Torn running up the street.
Who was the true nigger?
You know? All right, okay, yeah, because you asked that question too.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so the word slave comes from Slav.
Yugoslavia.
Slav is European people, right? So we can't be slaves, right? If we say we're like a good way to even push the boundaries of us not being black people to the people out there is to deal with the etymology of words. And then the etymology of black is bleach or pale. Or bleak. Or blake. So if if black means pale or bleak, then that means that's not us.
We're far from.
Right? So if that's not us and black means pale, then who's the black person?
The European.
Who's the real black person? If black means pale.
Who's the pale man? Yeah.
Right? And if black is related to nigger, then who's the nigger? Well, we'll call ourselves nigger. Not we, but.
Yeah, I know.
Very back.
Those guys.
Those
That's why I jumped on it. Yeah, man. Can't slip, man. Can't slip. Right?
Because that's the difference between getting knocked out and lasting 30 rounds.
Yes.
One slip. Let your guard down once.
Being on your square.
So once you get to that, and this right here, Moors, is according to what
You guys are charged up here. It's hot in here.
Right? So in the Moor Science Temple, as we talked about before, there's the regular people, you know what I mean, that just come to meetings and stuff, and then there's the Adab Chamber. And the Adab Chamber is separate from the regular people. And then people are brought into the Adab Chamber, right? And one of the rules of the Adab Chamber is everything that's in the Adab Chamber stays in the Adab Chamber, right? And this concept got taken advantage of after the Prophet passed, and then this is really where the corruption, right? The connection of Moors to masonry and all that type of stuff, and the infiltration and all that happened through the Adab Chamber. So since the Adab Chamber was infiltrated, right? And speaking about infiltration, right? Because
but is it taking an oath to get into the Adab Chamber or no?
But the knowledge is not supposed to be kept sacred. It's supposed to be for the masters. Everybody.
So the Adab Chamber. Okay, so what I was going to talk about was the 12 major minority organizations, and all are familiar to the 22 million. Dossiers have been compiled on the leaders of the organizations and can be studied in Washington. The material contained in many of the dossiers and our threat to reveal that material has considerably held in check the activities of some of the leaders. Leaders who do not have such usable material in their dossiers have been approached to take government posts, mostly as ambassadors and primarily in African countries. The promise of these positions also has materially contributed to a temporary slowdown of minority activities. However, we do not expect these slowdowns to be of long duration, because there are always new and dissident elements joining these organizations with the potential power to replace old leaders. All organizations and their leaders are under constant 24-hour surveillance. The organizations are the Black Muslims, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Congress of Racial Equality, Uru Movement, Group on Advanced Leadership, Freedom Now Party, United Black Nationalists of America, the New Pan-African Movement, the National Urban League, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the Committee on Racial and Religious Progress. So those are all the organizations that were infiltrated in order to stop the liberation of our people. On the list of all these infiltrated organizations, the Moor Science Temple is not on there. But the Moor Science Temple was infiltrated. Right? Under J. Edgar Hoover, the Moor Science Temple of America was infiltrated through the Adab Chamber. But if they put that in the King Alfred plan, then that's giving validation to the fact that there's something called Moor Science Temple of America.
And then
which is a secret.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to know that there's this thing called Moor Science Temple of America. You're just supposed to know from NAACP, UNIA, and everything after those things.
Because that's the big secret.
The big secret.
And here's another big secret. You guys try to drop Sajay or who or whatever his name is.
The movie that they dropped?
Oh man.
You watched it?
Well, no, I didn't see the movie, but I seen some stuff.